I don't think people understand how powerful overcoming fear can be. Hey everyone, welcome back to Next Level Mindset. Today, we are diving into a critical topic that I know many of you are interested in, which is fear. Fear. Has your mind ever been clouded with the possibility of a series of pessimistic thoughts? Sometimes the effect of these thoughts becomes so strong and evident, as though it was going to happen the next minute, but they do not. These thoughts are referred to as fear. Fear comes to the best of us and all of us, as it arises in different circumstances and situations. Sometimes it stems from feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, and doubt. Interestingly, all these thoughts exist only in our minds and are as unreal as they can be. Nevertheless, its effect is so strong and tangible that it affects our lives and the decisions we make. While very few people have taken control of their fear, many others have found it extremely difficult to dictate and control their lives. Indeed, when you allow yourself to be consumed by fear, there is a limit to what you can do. It will get extremely difficult even to make simple decisions. Doubt begins to creep into your mind as you. Second, guess every decision you can make and imagine the worst of everything. Fear comes from a threat you feel that you might experience harm physically, emotionally, or psychologically. However, some instances demand fear, while many other situations do not. This implies that sometimes fear might be real or warranted, and in other cases not so much. Either way, for sure, fear clouds your judgment and impedes the accurate assessment of situations. Therefore, the moment you are overwhelmed by fear, you will begin to feel incompetent and incapable of doing anything. Of course, you might not be in any danger or be threatened by something you can easily cope with. However, you would not be able to do much as a result of fear. Due to this reason, many persons have lost themselves and have lost their confidence and self-esteem. Fear has the power to confine the mind and prevent it from enjoying all that life has to offer. This is because you would be overwhelmed by fear and retreat anytime you feel like you want to do something new. Due to this fact, many people have been unable to find a job, relocate, start their businesses, begin their careers, or even find love. Ultimately, this has made them susceptible to predators and hinders them from living their lives to the fullest. This will make them even more vulnerable to predators and hinder them from living a full life. How is fear triggered? If you are experiencing fear, it is because it has been triggered by something or someone. This can be an event or even a simple issue that you have gone through. It would help if you got rid of the triggers before learning to get rid of the spirit of fear. Some common fear triggers are societal influence and rejection, death, animals and romance, heights, trauma and darkness. Some of the most crippling fears are traumas that people have gone through when they are still young, and they might be hard to get. So you first need to take care of the trigger so that you can conquer the fear. People make many decisions, maybe because they fear that you will not allow them to think straight, and you may know how to overcome that fear. You need to ensure that you do not fall into sin, because fear is sinful. Most negative thoughts that people have in the world come from unrighteous people. Signs that the spirit of fear is controlling you. It's okay to feel threatened when you feel like your life might be in real danger. However, some people have let fear control almost every aspect of their lives. It becomes dangerous and unhealthy because the fear will hinder them from making progress in their lives. If you realize that you are feeling anxious in every stage of life and with everything that you are trying to do, then you might be controlled by the spirit of fear. Sometimes it might be challenging to ignore fear, especially when it feels too real, but some signs can show you that you have the spirit to learn to overcome it. You may never even recognize that the nature of fear is in you, because it might manifest in different ways, and some are very unexpected. The following are want to know if you are controlled by fear. 1. You feel like you are not loved. Many people might not seem like it is fear, but it is a feeling brought about by the spirit of fear. When you feel like you are not loved, you will start to alienate yourself from friends, family, and loved ones. This is because you will be questioning the love that other people have for you. When you continue ignoring others, you start having behaviors that are not right. The feeling that you are not loved might start leading you to sin, because you will be looking for ways to fill the gap. Every time a loved one tries to reach out to you, you will feel like they are looking for something else. You may start finding love in very wrong and evil places just because of this fear. Sometimes it may be difficult to accept that you are suffering from the spirit of fear just because you do not feel like you are scared. However, you need to know that anytime you feel intimidated and cannot face another person, you live in fear, and you should not let it ruin your life. 2. Avoiding people and gatherings. You may not know it, but you live in fear once you start to isolate yourself from other people. The world has a lot that you need to experience, and it is not worth it when you want to stay all alone in an enclosed space because of fear of one thing or another. So you must get a friend or even a group of people you can relate with to not be alone for too long. Even in business, you need to relate to other people, to network, grow as a person, and grow your business. When you are living with fear, you will not mingle with people, and it is hard for you even to do the most uncomplicated issues with others. Fear makes you flee from others, and sometimes it will lead you to do things you are not proud of. 3. Trouble engaging in relationships. Sometimes connecting with other people is all the therapy you need when you have been going through issues or even when you are feeling anxious. It does not have to be a romantic relationship. Still, you need to connect sometimes with friends or even co-workers or peers, but fear keeps many people living lonely lives. Many people will not engage in relationships with others because of the following fears: fear of being rejected, fear of being hurt by others, fear of disappointing your peers, fear of giving yourself entirely to others, fear of trusting people, and many others will hinder a person from making friends and even relating with others. As a result, they will stay in their cocoon, not allowing others in, and they in turn might start turning to other behaviors that might be useful to them. 4. Indecisiveness. Imagine not being able to make decisions even when it comes to simple things. This is the spirit of fear guiding you, and it makes life very difficult for you and might also lead you to people and behaviors that are wrong. Most problems that people face are because of the spirit of fear, especially when the concerned people cannot make the right decision for themselves. When you have fear in you, you will let others make decisions involving your life, which will lead you down a path that is not yours. People living in fear will constantly ask themselves the following questions: what course of action should I take? What will happen if I make the wrong choice? What will people think if I make this decision? What if others leave me because of the decision I have made? The fear inside you will make it difficult for you to decide because you fear making a mistake. Sometimes people forget you will learn through the mistakes you have made, and it might not be suitable to let others make the decisions for you. 5. Making a lot of compromises. Although it is okay to compromise on interpersonal relationships, it does not need to compromise on morals. When you compromise on your morals just because you want to fit in, you're being led by the spirit of fear. Of course, sometimes you will need to make other people unhappy, but you need to make your own choices based on your observations and conclusions. When you compromise, it means that you do not have confidence in yourself or your decisions. This can lead you to sin because you will start following other people's decisions, which might not suit you. How to fight off fear. Fear and anxiety bring about diseases, Many people might never heal if they do not learn to overcome fear. Remember that a spirit is a powerful thing, and you might need to fight hard to get rid of them. Because fear is a spirit, you will sometimes need to use a lot of energy to fight and finally overcome it. Every time you feel like you are being overcome by fear, you need to ensure that you do everything to drive the feeling away. You may need a little help now and again, but you need to fight fear with everything you have. The following are some ways you can use to fight off fear and anxiety. Here are some ways you can use to fight fear. Breathing exercises. Do breathing exercises when you are feeling overwhelmed. You can take deep breaths and breathe out to get rid of the panic feeling you may be experiencing. Sometimes panic comes with sweaty palms, your heart beats faster, and many others, sometimes even trembling. Take a time out. Sometimes you may not be able to think when you are feeling overwhelmed. Your mind will be flooded, and you may need to take time out and figure yourself out so that you can think straight. Face your fear. Sometimes the best way to conquer your fear is to face it head on. You may eventually find out that you have been afraid of nothing at all. Take a step and do what you fear and expect the worst if you must, because you will in turn face your fear and get rid of it for good. Be yourself. This is especially important when you need to decide for yourself or your life. Think about what you want and do not try to be perfect in front of others. You will find that many people will still respect you because of your decision. You have been fearful over irrelevant issues. It is best to keep your cool, especially when going through the fear of being accepted by others, because it can lead you to do things that are not you or that you do not believe in. Talk to someone about it. You might not be the only one going through this problem with fear, and if you share your experience with someone, you might feel more confident. Remember that you need to share with the right people, because the wrong people will lead you to sin. You can also turn to your faith when you feel overwhelmed, and you will have the courage to face anything you need to in the long run. Visualize your happy place. Think of a time or a place that makes you happy and visualize it. You will find that the fear you have is not as crippling as you might think. Develop a sense of optimism. Nothing makes fear thrive like doubt or negativity. Therefore, if you intend to beat fear, you must be positive about life and everything around you. Fear stems from thoughts of defeat and loss, even before they happen. Optimism will help develop belief, defeat your doubts, and strengthen your faith. Overcoming fear. When you learn to conquer your fear, you can do anything you want, and you will be able to gain control over many things in your life. Fear has been a crippling factor for many things, and it is responsible for many wrongs that are happening today. So, when you conquer fear, we will run the world, and it will be a much better place for us and others around us to live in. When you are looking to overcome fear, you need to know that there are 4 significant factors of fear to look out for. Intensity. This is the strength that you can associate with the fear that you are feeling. The stronger the feeling of fear, the harder it is to overcome. When you do not fear the power to overwhelm you, you will easily overcome it. The intensity of the fear you feel will sometimes make it even impossible for anyone to try and talk you out of it. It would be best if you remember that it is not right to make fear have a significant stake in your life. In this way, you will take away its power. Time. You first need to determine if the fear is immediate and will affect you at that particular time before you can learn how to overcome it. If the harm is not impending, you might have time to see how you can try to overcome your fear and finally conquer it. Coping. When you can learn to cope with your fear, you have a better chance of conquering it. Whatever the threat you are feeling, you should not let it overwhelm you, because this will lead you to have too much power over you. You may not be able to overcome the fear easily. Environment. Your environment plays a crucial role in helping you overcome your fears. The mind, which is a canvas upon which fear operates. is extremely powerful, as it can assimilate a lot of information consciously or unconsciously. The environment supplies ample information to the mind through friends, family, and the media. Ultimately, the mind processes this information, leading to feelings of fear, doubt, and anxiety. Therefore, it is important to create an environment that provides positive information that reinforces faith, belief, and optimism. It is vital to learn how to get rid of fear, because this will ensure that you live a better life. You will avoid sin, and you can have the courage to do many other things that are more helpful. When you know that most of the events and evils happening worldwide are because of fear, you can work harder to conquer your anxiety. Getting rid of the spirit of fear is never easy, but it is necessary to help deal with many other issues. Many things have been said about fear. However, the most important fact remains. This means that you can learn to deal with and overcome fear. If you have decided to take the initiative, you can get away from sin by defeating the spirit of fear and setting yourself free of fear. Fear is unrighteous and leads to sin. However, you no longer have to live in the shadows all by yourself. You can learn and get help so that you conquer and become righteous once again. Fear is a strong spirit that not only enslaves the mind, but also limits the potential. It has crippled dreams, drowned ambitions, and has limited great potential. Interestingly, the mind has such great prospects as it can produce great ideas and implement them. Overcoming fear frees your mind from the shackles of doubt, pain, and uncertainty, as it allows you to reach the peak of your dreams and helps actualize all that you set out to be. Overcoming fear also helps strengthen your faith and defeat sin of unbelief in the process. This way, you will be able to be everything you set out to be and more. Although the facts thrown at you through this video might seem overwhelming, however, its implementation will guarantee your victory over fear. The key to its implementation lies in taking the tips one step and a day at a time. Being fearful is indeed a terrible state of mind for anyone to be in. However, with faith, love, hope, and right belief, you will certainly overcome it. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This is Next Level Mindset, helping you conquer fear and thrive.